My thoughts on the Beckhams. Well, it would appear that Brooklyn Beckham has fallen out with his parents because his mum did a sexy, grindy dance with him at his wedding. Which, I mean, leads me to believe that Brooklyn Beckham might just be a motherfucker. I find it hard to believe. Victoria Beckham didn't even dance when she was in the fucking Spice Girls.
Nicola Peltz is allegedly the one who wrote that entire Instagram statement for Brooklyn Beckham. She wrote that the Beckhams had been trying to control Brooklyn and had also ruined her wedding in multiple ways, and specifically went after Victoria Beckham. And she allegedly posted this entire thing under Brooklyn Beckham's Instagram, making it seem like it was coming from him.
Okay, the Beckhams are feuding with their son Brooklyn Beckham.
How you feuding with your kid? What is that?
Well, this is another clue that David and Victoria are narcissists, because when the parents are narcissistic, they don't want the child to have an identity outside of the family.
For years, the Beckham family sold everyone a dream. Picture perfect, flawless, like nothing could ever touch them. But that glossy image, it's cracked wide open now for the whole world to see. And right at the center of the chaos stands Brooklyn Beckham, the golden boy turned headline magnet. His wife, Nicola Peltz, and her billionaire dad, Nelson Peltz, have been stirring things up too. Word is, insiders claim Nelson never thought Brooklyn was good enough for his precious daughter. What started as a few tense dinners behind mansion gates has exploded into an all-out family showdown. Lawyers are being called in, wild accusations are flying around, and phones between both families have gone completely silent. The once unbreakable bond now looks shattered beyond repair, and everyone's asking one bone-chilling question. Is Brooklyn really calling the shots? Or has he been fully pulled into the Peltz family's power game? Because behind those glossy Instagram smiles and dramatic couple posts, there's a storm brewing that's anything but picture perfect. Things reached a whole new level when Brooklyn went public, blasting his own parents online in a brutally honest post.
He's not. He claimed that he's not just a nepo baby; he's a chef. I think he's so entitled. He's mixed up being a chef with making his own dinner. He probably brushes his teeth and thinks, "I'm actually a fucking brilliant dentist."
He accused David and Victoria Beckham of twisting the story to protect their image, of putting the brand before their own family, and of constantly disrespecting Nicola. No vague quotes, no sugar-coated captions, just raw emotion poured straight into the world. He made one thing crystal clear. He's riding for Nicola, no matter what. But the biggest shocker? It wasn't just what he said, it was how final it all sounded. No signs of peace, no talk of fixing things, just a cold, hard break that left everyone, fans and family alike, completely speechless. People close to the Beckhams swear that Brooklyn's explosive posts didn't just appear out of thin air. Something big went down right before the drama blew up. Behind the scenes, David and Victoria reportedly poured their hearts into a private, emotional letter sent straight to their son. No flashy statements, no PR filters, just raw words from parents desperate to reach the boy who'd stopped picking up their calls. Why so direct? Because by then, every real line of communication had completely crashed. According to insiders, Brooklyn had taken things to a shocking level. He allegedly sent his own parents a cease and desist order. That's right, legal paperwork telling David and Victoria Beckham to stop talking about him in public and to speak only through lawyers. The whole family was floored. But what really rocked them wasn't just the letter, it was the creeping fear that Brooklyn wasn't acting solo anymore. Insiders whisper that Nicola and her ultra-powerful parents might have had a heavy hand in that move, steering things behind the curtain. Those close to the situation describe David and Victoria's message as heartbreaking, not angry, not bitter, just filled with love, fear, and confusion.
And the blind item reads, hopefully the actress's fingers didn't get worn out typing that very long statement that's allegedly from her cuck of a husband. And again, this allegedly Nicola Peltz writing the statement for Brooklyn Beckham.
They were pleading for even a tiny sign that their son was okay, but instead of healing the rift, that emotional letter seemed to push Brooklyn even further away. And then, boom. just days later came the moment no one expected. Brooklyn's fiery public takedown of his own parents blasted across the internet for millions to see.
And the related headline reads, Brooklyn Beckham speaks out against parents in scathing Instagram post. The eldest son of David and Victoria Beckham accused his parents of controlling him and disrespecting his wife, Nicola Peltz.
Brooklyn came out swinging, claiming he was finally standing up for himself. He'd be saying Nicola had zero control over him. He insisted it was the total opposite, that his parents had been pulling the strings his entire life, and now he was cutting those strings for good. But here's where things get seriously twisted. Brooklyn keeps shouting that he's finally free, yet every move he's made since cutting ties with his parents screams the exact opposite. Insiders say he's living deep in the Peltz bubble now, wrapped up in their luxury, their power circle, their glitzy social world. Every photo, every event, every public step seems to tighten the grip the Peltz family has on him. Sources even claim he barely speaks to his parents anymore, only communicating through a go-between, like the distance has turned ice cold. And now everyone's whispering the same burning question. Is this just a family feud gone wild? Or are we witnessing a full-on power clash between two massive dynasties fighting for control? The moment people keep circling back to, the one that still haunts every headline, is that wedding. And that dance. Brooklyn reportedly claimed that his mom, Victoria, completely hijacked his first dance with Nicola. The one moment that was supposed to be just theirs. He said it left him feeling humiliated in front of everyone. Witnesses say Nicola bolted from the room in tears, and people swear the whole mood flipped instantly. The laughter, the music, the celebration, all of it drained away, replaced by thick, uncomfortable silence. That dance, barely a few minutes, and long, ended up symbolizing everything that fell apart afterward. Lines were crossed, egos collided, and hurt feelings spread like wildfire. Even guests who tried to stay out of the family tension later admitted it wasn't really about music or timing. It was all about control, image, and power. Insiders say that moment was the breaking point for Nicola, the final straw. After the wedding, she reportedly made her stance crystal clear. According to people close to the situation, Nicola let everyone know where she stood. And it wasn't with the Beckhams. Sources claim Brooklyn was hit with a brutal ultimatum. He couldn't have both his wife and his mother in his life. He had to choose. And he chose Nicola. That decision sent shockwaves through the entire family. Since then, things have spiraled fast, ignored invitations, skipped family gatherings, and total radio silence between both sides. Insiders say Nicola has stayed firm, refusing to attend any event where David or Victoria might appear. Some people say she's just setting boundaries and protecting her peace, but others are convinced she's the one calling every move now. Whatever the truth is, the tension between these two powerful families is getting harder and harder to hide. No matter which side you're on, one thing's crystal clear, and the fallout is very real. Brooklyn Beckham now lives almost completely cut off from the family that made his name legendary. And while Nicola keeps owning the spotlight with her glamorous lifestyle and picture-perfect posts, the real power player is standing quietly right behind her, her father, Nelson Peltz. Nelson isn't just wealthy. He's a full-blown billionaire known for his obsession with control, razor-sharp business instincts, and serious influence in elite circles. According to reports, Nelson has never truly been impressed with Brooklyn. Insiders say he's brushed off every one of Brooklyn's career attempts, from photography to cooking to those influencer projects, calling them scattered, unfocused, and lacking any real direction. No loud shade, no public callouts, just that quiet, icy kind of disapproval that cuts deeper than words ever could.
The family is enmeshed.
Right.
And extremely controlling and financially controlling. So when Brooklyn stepped out of the family and challenged that by getting into a new relationship, is it Nicola Peltz, by the way, who is extremely wealthy. Her father is like the chairman of board of directors of Wendy's, the fast food chain. Her father's like a billionaire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, girl comes from real wealth, old money. He steps away, tries to build a life with this young lady, and mom, more so than dad, is threatened.
And when that silent judgment comes from a man sitting on billions, it's not just uncomfortable, It's dangerous, especially when he's the one controlling the entire family empire. Brooklyn's now living under that massive shadow, and from the looks of it, things are only getting more tangled from here. Before the wedding even happened, one cold, calculated legal move grabbed everyone's attention: a rock-solid prenuptial agreement. Insiders say it locked down the Peltz fortune airtight, meaning if this fairy tale marriage ever falls apart, Brooklyn walks away with absolutely nothing. That one chilling detail has left everyone asking the same forbidden question. What happens if love isn't enough to keep this empire from collapsing? What's really keeping Brooklyn locked into the Peltz world? Is it love, loyalty, or straight-up pressure? The prenup didn't shock the Beckhams because of the money. It shook them because of what it meant for their son's future. That single contract created a deep dependency that cut straight to the core. If Brooklyn's marriage ever crumbles after cutting ties with his own family, he wouldn't just lose Nicola, he'd lose everything. No safety net, no family home to return to, no place to land if it all falls apart. That thought alone has reportedly haunted David and Victoria ever since. Sources say they're devastated watching their son anchor his entire future to a family that, deep down, still doesn't fully embrace him. They fear he's handed over every ounce of control, and that there's nothing they can do to pull him out of it. Still, insiders close to the Beckhams swear one thing hasn't changed. The door home is wide open. David and Victoria would take Brooklyn back in a heartbeat. No strings attached, no public statements, no forced apologies. Just pure, unconditional love waiting for him if he ever decides to come back. Brooklyn's made his stance loud and clear. No regrets, no second thoughts. He believes he finally spoke his truth, took his stand, and did what he had to do to reclaim control over his life. In his mind, this was the only way to break free from the weight of the Beckham name once and for all. Meanwhile, his siblings are out there thriving, chasing dreams, staying close to David and Victoria, and keeping that polished Beckham legacy shining bright, just without Brooklyn in the picture. But here's the twist. While Brooklyn keeps insisting he's finally free, people who knew him before all the chaos are starting to speak out. And what they're saying? It's not flattering for anyone. The most unexpected voice to jump into the feud didn't come from Hollywood circles or the high society elite. It came from the football world. Brooklyn's former youth coach from his QPR days finally broke his silence, and his words hit everyone like a punch to the gut. He didn't take sides, didn't throw blame, and didn't talk down on anyone. Instead, he spoke with empathy, but in a way that made people rethink everything. The coach didn't rush to defend David and Victoria, but he didn't back Brooklyn either. What he did do was paint a chilling picture of a boy who grew up under pressure most adults couldn't handle. A life built on high expectations, constant judgment, and emotional distance that fame disguised as privilege. He talked about a 14-year-old Brooklyn, a kid surrounded by bodyguards, living behind tinted car windows, treated like a celebrity before he even had a chance to figure out who he was. Fame and money didn't bring peace. They built a cage. The coach described moments that felt unsettling, even for someone who'd worked with other famous families. He recalled glimpses of emotional strain, signs of anxiety and loneliness that ran way deeper than anyone realized. He didn't point fingers, but his message was clear as daylight. Brooklyn never truly got the chance to live a normal childhood, and that kind of upbringing left him vulnerable, wide open to influence, manipulation, and the crushing belief that the only way to breathe was to cut off everything and everyone familiar. That's what it all comes down to. Not fame, not fortune, but a lifelong struggle to feel free. And this is where the story takes a seriously uncomfortable turn. When you strip away all the noise, the drama, and the headlines, one truth hits harder than anything. Nicola didn't step into Brooklyn's world. He stepped straight into hers. She stayed wrapped in the comfort of her powerful family, surrounded by wealth, protection, and total independence. Meanwhile, Brooklyn walked away from everything. The entire Beckham dynasty that had defined his life, his structure, his safety net, his foundation, all gone. He tied his whole emotional world to one single family, the Peltz family. That's the imbalance everyone's whispering about behind closed doors. And it's not about Nicola being manipulative or Brooklyn being weak. It's about what happens when someone builds their entire identity around one person, one household, one power circle. Isolation like that can get dangerous, not because anyone's openly pulling strings, but because influence can slip in quietly, unnoticed. until it's absolute. That's the silent kind of control that makes people uneasy. The kind you feel even when no one's saying a word. And through all the chaos, one figure has remained completely, eerily silent. Nelson Peltz, the billionaire sitting at the center of the storm. No interviews, no emotional outbursts, no dramatic statements, just cold, calculated quiet. He hasn't defended Brooklyn, hasn't denied a single rumor, hasn't even hinted at taking sides. Just that chilling stillness, the kind that says more than words ever could. And for someone as sharp and strategic as Nelson Peltz, silence is never random. People who've worked with him describe him as intense, precise, and completely unimpressed by fame or flash. Insiders say Nelson views Brooklyn as unfocused, a young man still trying to find his footing, leaning more on his famous last name than on genuine drive.
In a series of Instagram stories, Beckham accused his parents of controlling him for years, leaking stories to the media, and manipulating the narrative about him and his wife, Nicola Peltz.
And that, more than anything, might explain why Nelson Peltz doesn't need to raise his voice. His silence already says it all. It might sound harsh, but in high-power circles, perception is everything. Insiders claim Nelson Peltz's doubts about Brooklyn only grew louder once that family feud went public. Because in elite society, cutting off your own blood doesn't scream independence. It looks unstable. And in the world of billionaires and boardrooms, that kind of reputation can destroy your credibility overnight. Then there's Brooklyn's career, or depending on who you ask, his search for one. From photography to cooking to influencer branding, every project he launches grabs attention. But behind closed doors, insiders say those efforts are met with quiet skepticism. In the Peltz mansion, the standards are sky high. David Beckham built his empire through years of discipline, strategy, and relentless grind, while Brooklyn's journey feels scattered, experimental, and uncertain. This whole clash between the Beckhams and the Peltz families runs way deeper than fame or fortune. It's a war of values, legacy and endurance versus dominance and control. When Brooklyn and Nicola's worlds collided, insiders say the tension was inevitable, and the way things exploded, that was just waiting to happen. Whispers claim Nelson Peltz has never been convinced that Brooklyn brings anything real to the table. Not financial strength, not business, strategy, not even symbolic value. To him, Brooklyn might be a name with shine, but not much weight behind it. Meanwhile, people close to David and Victoria Beckham say the change in their son didn't happen overnight. It crept in slowly, almost silently. They noticed when he stopped making his own choices, started deferring every decision, and began letting others, especially lawyers, speak on his behalf. Private family matters turned into legal discussions, and that's when they knew something had shifted. Those who know the Beckhams best swear Brooklyn wasn't always like this. He wasn't cold, distant, or defensive. He was warm, eager, and deeply tied to his family. But no matter how much Brooklyn denies outside influence, the timeline tells a different story. The deeper he fell into his marriage, the further he drifted from the people who raised him. And perhaps the most telling sign of just how fractured things have become, his siblings, they've stayed quiet, completely out of the fight. No comments, no posts, no sides taken. Their silence might just be the clearest reflection of how deep this family divide really runs. Brooklyn's siblings still show up for family events, host with their parents, and stand proudly by the Beckham name. That sharp contrast has fans asking a question that no one dares to say out loud. If the Beckham home was really as controlling as Brooklyn claims, then why did only one child walk away? Sure, Brooklyn's getting praised online for standing up for himself, but insiders whisper a different story. The emotional toll has been brutal. No surprise calls, no casual visits, no warmth at all. Every text or message now has to go through layers of people filtered like a business deal instead of family love. And when conversations turn that cold, rebuilding what's been lost feels nearly impossible. Most celebrity family feuds fade with time. A few quiet months, then a public reunion, and hugs for the cameras. But not this one. This split runs way deeper. It's not just about hurt feelings. It's about power, pride, and two massive empires clashing head-on. On one side stand the Beckhams, built on legacy, discipline, and tight control. On the other, the Peltz family, fueled by wealth, dominance, and influence. And right in the middle, Brooklyn Beckham, one son caught between two worlds, fighting to prove he's his own man while being pulled by both. The big question everyone keeps whispering: can he ever have both? Walking away might have felt powerful, but returning would take real humility, something far harder than any public post or headline. Sources close to David and Victoria insist they'd welcome him back instantly. No drama, no press statements, no conditions, just open arms and love waiting for their son. But that same warmth, it might not come from everyone else. If Brooklyn ever tried to reconnect, would Nicola truly stand by his side? Then, would Nelson Peltz even allow it? Or has the line been crossed too far for any return? Right now, it feels like two worlds running parallel. The Beckhams still united, strong, and moving forward. And Brooklyn, living in a different orbit, still trying to figure out where he really belongs. And now, Brooklyn lives a brand new life. Calm on the outside, but quietly haunted by everything he left behind. He says he's got no regrets, that he's finally at peace, but those closest to him swear you can still see the weight in his eyes. Meanwhile, David and Victoria keep their silence, waiting patiently, hoping that time will heal what words and distance never could. Through it all, Nicola remains steady, always there, always at the center, the one constant in Brooklyn's world. Whether she's fiercely protecting their marriage or carefully shaping the public story depends on who you ask. But one thing's certain, she's right at the heart of it all. Brooklyn Beckham's world will never be the same again. Too much has been said, too many bridges burned, and the road back doesn't look simple anymore. If you've been keeping up with this wild family saga, don't miss what comes next. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Because this story, oh, it's far from over.